gentlemen, welcome back to the Master Debaters.
Welcome back.
I gotta say, you look like a jackass.
Why? I did something about the wonky eye.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Don't worry, viewers. It'll be back next episode.
I guess. Anyway, any sports fans out there, the NBA draft is right around the corner.
Yeah, it sure is.
Sixers are looking like they're in a pretty good position.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about the Sixers.
Nope.
We're here to talk about the top 10 worst NBA draft busts.
Yeah. There's been some pretty bad ones.
Some pretty bad ones.
Some franchises have really fucked up in the draft, I'll tell you that.
And I'm going to start us off.
Go for
with
it.
My number 10.
Who's your number 10?
A guy by the name of Chris Washburn.
Chris Washburn.
Went number 3 in 1986 to Golden State. And just going to throw a couple names out there because I come prepared.
Right.
A couple guys that could have gotten picked instead of him. Mark Price. Dennis Rodman. This guy didn't do anything.
Yeah, I can see. Mark Price wasn't all that great. I'll give you Dennis Rodman. Mark Price was pretty good.
Chris Washburn.
He was. Number 10 on my list is he was really a good player in college, but he only played in college for 1 year. And his coach advised him, don't go to the NBA, you're not ready. And he went anyway. The guy's career lasted like 2-3 years. And that's William Avery. And he went to Duke, and Krzyzewski, who is knows all about the NBA and USA basketball, you'd think the kid would have listened to him. But he didn't, and his career was gone like that. Number 9 on my list. Now, I want to explain this real quick. I hope nobody gets offended by this pick. This guy was not a draft bust for him personally, but he was a bust for the organization. The organization, they picked him. He's a great player, but it didn't work out, and that was Len Bias. And I don't know if you know who Len Bias is, but he died the day after the draft. And Len Bias was a great basketball player. I followed his career. I know all about him. So I hope people aren't offended for me putting him on this list, but it was a bust for the Celtics because they lost a first-round draft pick that year. So, Len Bias, my number 9.
Moving on, number 9 for me. Denver's number 3 pick in 1998. Guy by the name of Raef LaFrentz.
Yeah, big guy, Kansas.
Big guy, Kansas.
He stuck around for a little while, didn't he?
Yeah, but you had guys like Dirk Nowitzki and Paul Pierce and even Vince Carter got drafted after him. So, in my eyes, that's a bust. You could have had one of those superstars, but you didn't.
True.
Denver, you screwed up. Number 8 for me, Marvin Williams. Went number 2 to Atlanta a few years back.
Yeah.
Didn't really, he was supposed to be this.
He was another guy who was like all that in college.
Yeah. He was supposed to be good, and he just
was a bumming.
He just wasn't.
That's how them North Carolina guys are, except for the exception of about 15 of them. They put the best players in college in the pros. They do. Number 8 on my list. He was kind of a local guy in high school. He scored 100 points in one game. Big bust in the NBA, and that is DeJuan Wagner. Horrible. He averaged, I think, maybe 2 points a game, or maybe 5. I don't know, somewhere around there in the NBA. He was horrible, and he was so much was expected of him, and so little was gotten out of him. Horrible pick. Bad.
I thought about putting him on the list, but I had a lot more.
He really sucked. Well, there probably are worse than him, I'm sure. Number 7 on my list. There's a viewer out there that will probably appreciate this pick. Big Country Bryant Reeves. Bryant Reeves was a bum. If you're watching this Big Country Bryant Reeves, you were a bum. In college, you were pretty good, but in the NBA, you were a bum.
Bryant Reeves.
Because he was a bum.
Number 7 for me. This guy was no doubt a bum. Number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
plenty of other guys out there that could have gone instead of him, and the guy is Michael Alokondi.
He sucked. He was horrible.
What a joke that guy was.
He was horrible. The Clippers always make bad picks.
The Clippers do make bad picks. They do make some bad picks.
Oh, man.
But, however, there is another team who I feel makes even worse picks than the Clippers.
Really?
And I'm going to let you know who they are who that team is right now with my number 6. LaRue Martin.
Yeah?
He was drafted in 1972.
Okay.
Number 1 overall to the Portland Trailblazers.
Right.
You had guys like Bob McAdoo and even Dr. J went after him in this draft. And, I mean, LaRue Martin. He sucked. You probably have you ever heard of him?
I don't really know who to do this. And I follow a lot of basketball.
I follow basketball too. I've heard of him because of how horrible of a bust he was. That's the only reason I know who the hell LaRue Martin is.
Yeah. Wow. Number 6 on my list happens to be a Portland Trailblazer. Greg Oden. Them motherfuckers took Greg Oden over Kevin Durant. Idiots. Number 5 on my list.
I gotta be honest though, the biggest idiot in the room here is you because you just look like a fucking jackass.
Why? I got my glasses. I'm representing Chips this week.
Fucking aviators.
Got my muscle shirt on. Number 5 on my list was already on your list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael Olowokandi. What a bum.
Was it Candy or was it Condi?
Hey, whatever it was, he was a bum. He should have named his name the bum. Because he sucked. They should have saw it coming. He didn't go to a great school. The Clippers should have saw this coming. But when you pick people like Terry DeHare, I think they had, and all these other draft busts, I think they drafted Danny Manning. But I guess the organization's blind. Blind! Want to borrow my glasses? Go ahead.
Number 5 for me. He was supposed to be the next big thing. Once again, that's what it seems like all of these picks were.
Right.
2001, Washington took him number 1 overall.
Yeah, he sucks.
Kwame Brown.
Yeah, he sucks.
He was horrible. What a waste of space.
Should have went to college.
What a waste of space.
Should have went to college, Kwame.
I can't argue with that. Moving on to number 4 for me. You actually just had him on your list. Another one of those Portland Trailblazers, Greg Oden.
Yeah. Dude, that guy.
Kevin Durant, even someone like Al Horford was out there instead of Greg Oden. And
they should have seen that coming too. The guy went to college for 1 year and he looked like he was 73 years old. I mean, you should have seen this shit coming. The fuck? You know what he's doing now?
I'm not sure.
He is an assistant coach at Ohio State.
How the hell is he even coaching?
Why
would you want someone like that to
assistant coach? Pretty bad. Is it me?
Yeah, you're up.
I'm up. Number 4 on my list. This guy was a big bust, and I do mean big. He was a 7'6" bust. Sean Bradley. Horrible. The Sixers. You could have had Penny Hardaway or Chris Webber or Jamal Mashburn or Jimmy Jackson. What were you doing? These guys usually never work out. When these 7'6", these monster tall guys, they never work out. But they went with him. He sucked. He stole money from every NBA team he played for. And I don't know what he's doing now, but he's probably on another Mormon
I think the
trip.
one highlight of his career was being in Space Jam.
Yeah. He was the goofy one, too. The one goofy monster was Sean Bradley. Yeah. What a goof. They even goofed on him in the movie. Number 3 on my list. This guy is a bust. He actually had a pretty long NBA career, and he even made an all-star team. But the reason he's a bust is because so much was expected of this guy coming out of college, and he did nothing. And that's Christian Laettner. That guy's one of the greatest college players of all time, and he sucked.
I didn't put him on my list
he sucks.
because he did have a rather lengthy career.
Yeah, but underachieved.
Yeah, but it's not like he was in and out like some of these other guys on our list. So that's my only argument there.
Yeah, but he was
Laettner.
In and out, piece of shit. Duke great players are pieces of shit. Crazy Dan, Brothel Dan, Dan the Man from Sudan, I'm talking to you. Duke's a piece of shit.
Number 3 for me. This guy, when you look at the names around him, it just does not make any sense.
Why not?
Why this guy was drafted at all? Because he was horrible. Darko Milicic.
No, he sucks.
Dwayne Wade. LeBron went number 1.
Yeah.
And then you read off some of these names. Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
Darko Milicic went before all of them.
Did you hear what he's actually trying to do now? I don't know if he's still pursuing
trying to coach.
He's actually trying to be a boxer.
Professional boxer. Is he Russian? Yeah,
I think he's. I don't
he
know.
kind of did resemble Ivan Drago a little bit.
Well,
a little bit.
That's what he's trying to do now.
Number 2 on my list. Went number 2.
Okay.
In the 1984 draft, got to the Portland Trailblazers. Sam Bowie.
I don't think he was a bust. He had a lengthy career and injuries. Injuries is what did it to him.
But what I look at is some of the names that could have gone to Portland besides him.
Yeah, the
Charles Barkley.
Well, the GOAT.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
You got this guy, Sam Bowie. He wasn't all that great. He didn't really produce. Yeah, I know the injuries, but
the injuries did it to him.
Number 2 bust for me. NBA draft ever.
Yeah. Well, my number 2 bust was just on your list, and it was pretty bad. And I don't know what they were thinking when they took this guy, and that was Darko Milicic. Somehow, Larry Brown, turned that into some kind of winning situation? Because he was pretty successful in Detroit, Larry Brown. He didn't use Milicic, but you would have thought that would have set the franchise back a bunch of years.
Yeah, I don't think he used him much at all.
Nah, he didn't. But, he sucked. Bum. Number 1 on my list, the number 1 greatest NBA draft bust of all time. Goes to show you that just because you're a good player, it does not mean you can run a franchise. Kwame Brown. Michael Jordan, what the hell were you thinking? You're my idol. I think you're the GOAT. You're a great player, but you don't know how to run a team, man. What a fucking bad pick.
Did he draft Brown?
Yes, he did.
But he was still playing at the time.
He was like what? Select player / GM.
I thought when he started playing, he wasn't allowed to GM anymore.
Yeah, he had to give it up. He was running the GM spot for that, and this is something I tell him all the time. Bad pick. Bad pick.
My number 1 NBA draft bust of all time is I'm going to admit here, I'm going to cheat a little bit.
You're cheating?
And the reason why is because I'm such a loyal fan of my Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah.
And my number 1 NBA draft bust of all time is every single 76ers very first draft pick since 1985 until now, with an exception of Allen Iverson.
Right.
Because every single one of them was complete garbage. I'm including Embiid and Simmons in there because so far Embiid hasn't shown me that he can stay healthy, and Simmons hasn't shown me anything yet.
Yeah.
But everybody else, just listen to some of these names. And I didn't have the decency to write down the names of the guys that were drafted.
A couple good ones?
Maybe Iguodala, but he wasn't. He busted in Philly.
I thought Stackhouse was all right.
Just listen.
He couldn't play with Iverson.
Just listen to some of these names. Porzingis. The Greek.
They didn't draft him.
Just listen.
Oh, you mean people they missed on?
The Greek Freak, Jimmy Butler,
Yeah.
DeMarcus Cousins, Paul George,
Right.
Rondo, Carlos Boozer,
Yeah.
Tony Parker, Dirk Nowitzki, Paul Pierce,
Yeah.
Tracy McGrady,
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett.
Right.
That was the year that Stackhouse got drafted.
Yeah.
Penny Hardaway, Allen Houston, Mark Jackson.
Right.
I would have loved to see any one of those on my Sixers team.
Right.
Except for the garbage that we got stuck with. Guys like Evan fucking Turner, Sharon Wright.
Right.
What the fuck? Like,
so who's your number one pick?
Every single 76ers first draft pick since 1985.
That's the dumbest fucking thing. That's so
Allen
dumb.
Iverson.
That's so dumb.
I just said that.
But the Sixers made some good picks, you idiot.
No, they didn't.
Really?
They're not as good as what they could have.
They drafted Stackhouse, who was good, and had they not drafted
Stackhouse was okay with the Sixers.
He was good. He would have been. He couldn't play with Iverson. If they hadn't drafted Iverson, Stackhouse probably would have been the franchise.
Stackhouse got drafted.
He couldn't play with
Stackhouse
Iverson.
got drafted number 1 in 95. Iverson got drafted number 1 in 96.
He couldn't
Obviously,
play with Iverson.
Stackhouse didn't do enough for us because he still put us in a position to draft at number 1 and get Iverson.
What the hell are you talking about? The Boston Celtics just got the number 1 seed in the playoffs, and they're picking number 1 this year. You're an idiot, dude.
It's a fucking
What a
joke.
fucking dumbass. The best team in the East also has the number 1 pick this year. That don't mean shit. Just because Stackhouse, what do you expect them to turn that horrible franchise around? Fucking with Clarence Weatherspoon and bullshit like that?
Stackhouse, no, I don't want Stackhouse on my team.
He wasn't bad. And I don't like North Carolina guys, but he wasn't bad. He wasn't.
Cephalosha, you're telling me that was a good pick? Thabo Cephalosha? That was horrible. Who's the other guy? Vukovic? Or whatever the hell his name was?
He's a baseball player.
Yeah, he's the baseball. The other guy.
He don't play for the Sixers.
Nikolai
Volkov. Nikolai Volkov. He used to do the fucking Russian national anthem before wrestling matches.
I fucking know that.
I like Nikolai Volkov.
Anyway, tell us who your draft busts are.
Yeah, let us know who your draft busts are, and everybody get ready for the draft coming up.
Subscribe, like. See you next time.
Yeah, see you next time on the Master Debaters.